ready to go?
Ready whenever you are. Pretty full of glass, B.
I haven't seen this thing.
Welcome back to the skateboarding business.
First and foremost, he was a really solid skater. He would kill it at every situation.
He was the kind of fellow on a skateboard that if he believed it, he could see it.
He would skate transition, he'd skate ledges, he'd skate switch. You know, it's like one thing it'd be like something more technical, and then he'd just go full blast on some crazy sculpture or whatever. He's just balls to the wall.
He would drop in on everything. It just went bigger and bigger.
There's all these crazy skateboarding tricks that Bam would film, but then also all this just chaos. It's kind of amazing to see some of the early stuff that ended up becoming a hit TV show.
You get to vicariously beat up your dad through Bam and this loving mom and this funny, chaotic world, but Bam was starting to get a little off the deep end.
After the show left, he just thought it still should be a show and nothing was happening. He got bored, he got crazy.
Drinking and drugs was definitely a bit of a problem.
I mean, he got to a point where he floated away, I think, and just became the dick he was pretending to be. That level of fame is not, it's not healthy.
You know, at some point it just got to be that the chaos was louder than the product.
Bad. Bad. And we're trying to hide it all. Hey, how's Bam? Great.
That was perfect.
What's up? Welcome back to Epically Latered. We're here in Barcelona to film with Bam Margera. A lot of people, when they think of Bam, they think of Jackass, Viva La Bam, and all this like MTV celebrity. But I always think of him as an amazing pro skater. I think of the Eastern Exposure video. I think of Toy Machine's jump off a building, all his years on Element skateboards. But you know, after that, he got into MTV, kind of really got sucked into like a rock star kind of lifestyle, practically quit skating and just became a full-blown celebrity. But once Viva La Bam ended and one of his best friends, Ryan Dunn, passed away from a drunk driving accident, it really sent Bam into a dark space. And now suddenly we hope, seems like he's coming out of his mourning period.
Trying to get my skate on today.
Damn, bruh.
Hola, I'm looking for Bam.
He kind of look exactly like
Good, how are you?
how he would turn out, nigga.
Whoever that was said they knew me, so I don't know who it was.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Patrick.
Winkle?
Yeah.
I'm Patrick.
Top of the morning.
Morning, good to see you. This is your house?
Yeah. This is the legendary Winkle's house.
Which room were you staying in?
So we're staying right here at the moment. It's really hard to but it reminds me of like a tour bus bunk, which I sleep really good in. So there's some goods and bads to this.
What was your plan to come here? Like, why'd you come here?
Because I figured, see, I haven't skated in like a long time, and I figured if I was gonna relearn, it would be here. And it took a long time to get the muscle memory back. Like, I couldn't even like axle stall on a half pipe for like, it took like 5 days to even get that dialed. Honestly, like if you want to say street skating, nearly a decade I haven't skated. I went and saw a doctor and he was like, your legs and body are so dehydrated from alcohol that they're like dry rotted rubber bands. And if you think that you're gonna skate again, I'd be careful because it could snap just like that. That really f***ed my head up bad because I'm like, how am I gonna skate again?
Well, about a year ago, Bam asked me if I would drive him to the airport, he and Nikki. But on the way to the airport, he says, you know what, I'm just sick of this shit.
I can't even explain how many people I had nothing in common with except drinking. And I didn't realize if we take away these drinks, we're gonna all look at each other and say, what the f are we doing?
These are not people who we should be
Fat
around
head and
because
a
these
fat
people
neck,
want to
then
like,
the rest of his body
hey,
kinda
Bam,
slim.
let's go out to the bar, knowing that Bam will pay. So he just decided that he was just gonna bail on the situation, period.
I didn't get no phone calls. I haven't heard from him. He hasn't wrote me or anything. He just showed up at my door.
Yeah,
like, let's go
nigga.
skate. Knock, like, I'm here.
Yeah, it's been really good.
You've been out here for how long?
Oh, God. Well, in Barcelona, how long?
Yeah.
4 months?
4 months?
4 months?
Wow.
Yeah, but no, we've been in Europe for 8 months now.
Wow.
He just came out here to get healthy. He just said it the other day before you guys got here. He's like, so, like, the booze don't help me out.
Good shit, nigga.
The people back at home don't help me out. The only thing that keeps me good is on the
That nigga got stung by a
like,
bee in his eyelid. At least he can do that. A lot of people can't do that.
Right here. By the way, a year ago, I could almost not even see my own dick. It was that big, and my dick's not so big, so, but it was still like that. I was like,
My dick's not big, so.
In the toy machine days, and when I had to go do an element demo, like, I was stoked to show up, and I was stoked to slap kids' thighs because I knew I was gonna rip the park. Now it's like, I don't want anybody to see me. I need somebody to skate with, but I don't want people to watch me suck.
Barrel Hill. You gotta taste it before you roll away from it, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah! I don't know what you want to call that one.
Perfection's hard to achieve, my friend.
Yeah, at least the nigga got solid wife that's holding that nigga down.
And you know what you can do, you carry that around in your heart. And if you can't do it, it hurts you. He knows how good of a skater he is. He knows what he can do.
Ah!
What's it been like trying to get tricks for a video?
That's the place that I wanted to, I don't know. I'm just kind of just filming, you know, and if I'm just learning all my tricks again.
Board smash.
Yeah, my fat ass, I broke 2 boards.
April visited Bam in Spain this year in March. He was on a sober kick trying to get sober, but she said he started to have just a wine with dinner, maybe 2. I said, Abe, it's not a good sign that he's doing that. And she says, no, he's fine in Spain. He's fine in Spain. And then, like a couple weeks later, he started drinking till he was crazy. So he still hasn't conquered drinking, but he's trying.
This is what scared me about Bam right now. When he had his comeback, they put that line out in that interview.
Yeah.
But I know Bam, and I know the issues that he's battling right now, and I know that he's doing much better than he was, but he's not cured by any means. I know he's on that fine line.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
Bam's kind of like how I was in the beginning. He does want to get sober and stay sober, but he's not willing to do the certain things that it takes to get to where he's trying to get to.
What up? After a year in Europe, I'm back. Where we at, man? We're at Abe and Phil's house in Thornton, Pennsylvania.
Hey! How are you? I know, the kid's back. It's been gone for a year.
Where's Phil's Elvis mug?
Well, I put it in the dishwasher. You want the Christmas Elvis? You want a cappuccino?
Yeah, that sounds right today. That'll work.
I remember
He was like that kid that would jump from couch to couch, really like flying through the air. You know what I mean? My father-in-law, he started calling Bam Bam Bam. I mean, he kind of looked like him because he was very square-shouldered, you know, with the curly hair. And, you know, I think for a while he was dragging a bat around. Bam's whole life, skating or otherwise, has been like filmed. Phil was shooting video the whole time.
But you're gorgeous, though. Oh, yeah. The VHS, a big one, got heavy after a while.
Dad, can you film me doing Fred Alley?
I'm filming. Yeah, I would, 24 hours a day, just take them wherever they wanted to go.
It didn't matter what I was doing. The minute we got there, he was already filming with this VHS camera, you know? He'd film everything, bales and all, and then we'd get home and just watch it all.
Love Park, took him there all the time. There's a place called the Dust Bowl in King of Prussia, took him to that a lot. And then as skate parks opened up, we went to all the skate parks.
He would take him to a drainage ditch and make a picnic day out of it. So, I mean, he was just like the greatest dad.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I was a huge baseball, football, you know, the regular sports fan. And from the time they skated until they could drive themselves, I didn't even know who was playing the Super Bowl. I didn't know what the Pirates were doing. I didn't know it was 24 hours a day skateboarding.
No, Dad, sit down. Make it look bigger. Sit down right there.
It looks big enough, believe me.
No, sit down. I want to make it look bigger. Do it. Man, I'm scared. Just do it. You want to be a pro, don't you?
You want to be a pro,
Go
don't
to their
you?
house, and they were the most hospitable people in the world. They let their kids do everything, but then their kids were so loving towards their parents and everything like that. Like, for me, who is not like this with my family at all, they were always hugging and kissing one another and stuff. I'm like, whoa, what the weird? Like, you like kiss your dad and stuff? Yeah, me and my dad would never do that. Just like a firm handshake. Like, all right, see you later.
He always seemed like a really busy kid to me. So, like, you know, I was just one of those moms. It's like, look, you're not a kid forever. Go out, be busy. I'm not going to kind of, like, bore my kids with a ton of chores. Like, my parents didn't do that to me either. They're like, go be kids. But maybe I should have, because maybe he would do a little more for himself.
Jess, you try one.
I can't do a front.
I would do something, I'll film you.
You know, Jesse was a great skater too, but it was just like, it seemed like nobody could kind of keep up with Bam. And Bam, even though he was the youngest of the group, he was definitely the boss. Bossing everybody. Do it again. Who says that? You know, when you're 10.
He had this thing called Team X, which was like this little group of guys that skated.
Team X search for Fast Wheels Part 2.
Is everybody still good?
Yeah.
Nobody's dead?
These things
We were just,
wow,
like,
this nigga dad
messing
cool
with each
though.
other and, you know, filming the skating stuff, but also filming like us kind of doing stupid little skits.
Bam at 10 years old started being pretty noticeable.
Hey, Todd, Bucky, if you don't know, this little man here, pretty good.
Me and Bucky would go up to the skate park called Cheapskates. All of a sudden, we saw this kid popping humongous ollies and just had all this energy. And I'm like, oh, I've just met my match, and like, this isn't good. Me and Bam became like inseparable at that point on because we made each other want to excel, and we were really consistent too. We were good contest skaters.
One year Bam did better than Novak, then the next year Novak did better than Bam, and then Bam did better. So a little bit of love-hate there. He had like 25, 30 friends in the area, and he'd invite them all to watch the skate videos, and only a dozen would be interested because it was pure skateboarding. The other 13 would roam off and walk off.
He started taking the daily skate footage, and then he would kind of edit it down. He would do like 4 skate tricks and then put the funny stuff in. And everybody like loved that.
And so now all 25 kids would stay and watch because there'd be 5 minutes of skating, 3 minutes of funny stuff, and then 2 minutes of skating, 5 minutes of funny stuff.
Wild, bro.
What up? How's it going?
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
How you been?
Good.
Good.
I was gonna put a board together, but I just found one. I thought it was stolen and nobody stole it. First sponsor was Fairman's. I was about 13. This would be our meeting point whenever we'd go skating. It's just all the people who used to ride for, oh yeah, there's me doing the 1 foot at the Turk's Head Festival. Well, when we rode for him, I think we were allowed like 2 skate decks a month and then maybe some wheels. I was always skating with Mike Malnado, and Mike Malnado got sponsored by Toy Machine, so he was flying out to Huntington Beach to stay with Ed Templeton. Kerry Getz and I came along with.
You know, he was just always like, see something in a video or see a spot or hear about a spot, and he's like, we gotta go to that spot, we gotta go to that spot. So his motivation level was beyond most people's. That's what really kind of made sessions happen.
We were all the amps, me, Mike, Bam, and Kerry. Me and Maldonado smoked a lot of pot, and Bam was like young and didn't, and it was just like discovering women and stuff like that.
Bam was focused and ambitious. I knew early on that he was gonna succeed because he was super tenacious with everything. If he had an idea, like, I want to skit in the Toy Machine video, there was no way I'm saying no.
They were just having fun making skits. They just loved creating it and loved making it, and then it started working its way into his video parts. And then after that, he got so much positive feedback, and it was so fun, they just kind of went full bore into that.
Trying to find the cat.
What have you guys been up to since he's been back?
Saw the grandkids. Like, he was really afraid to hold the baby.
Even though she's 1.
I don't do well with it.
Huh?
I don't do well with it.
Well, you better get used to it real quick, because do you want to tell them your news?
You tell them the news.
Uh-huh.
You tell them the news.
No, don't leave.
You tell them the news.
You didn't
No.
tell him in Spain? You never said
No, you're saying it.
I didn't know until they left.
Oh, he found out.
He found out.
Okay.
So do you want to say what's new?
You say it.
No. I want to hear you say it.
Nikki's pregnant.
So you better get used to
So guess
holding
who's being a
babies.
dad?
What's this I see? A young lad being beaten?
I had these neighborhood friends that wanted to be on film, and, you know, obviously they couldn't skate very well, so they would just want to be in whatever we were working on. Jumping off of a roof into a bush or getting into a shopping cart and getting pushed into a curb was like, I'll do whatever it takes. I just want to be in this video. I'm like, it's hilarious. It's not a skate trick, but it's hilarious.
He decided to, like, film these funny things. And what he would film, I thought was, like, sheer genius. Like, I'm thinking to myself, oh, my God, that's so funny.
To me, that was like the beginnings of what the CKY videos were. Man, we're gonna film stuff, and I wanna, like, impress, you know, Ryan, or I wanna impress Brandon or Bam, or, like, whatever one did, you tried to one-up it.
Hey, yo, good morning, brother. What's going on?
That became CKY Land Speed, which was just a mixture of skateboarding and
Assalamualaikum,
dumb
brother.
stunts and skits.
How you doing, man? Oh, shit, we said at the same time. Like us alone.
It was like stuff that you wanted to do, but you never really went to that extreme. Bam was kind of doing it for you. Slap fits on his dad.
Stop him on the phone!
They rented a car and annihilated it.
Oh no, it's just an AM, FM radio.
Thank God for Bam's drive and his ability to just, let's go make this.
You know, you look at all those CKY videos and he's like, this is my world.
And he cut it like the way that we thought, you know, like this like ADD kind of mind. It was like the beginning of that stage where everyone's just like, give me the information right now.
Niggas, wow. That nigga's tripping for that.
I went to Spike and Johnny Knoxville, and I said, hey, let's partner up and make a TV show.
I got a call from Jeff Tremaine. I drove over to his house, and that's where I met Johnny Knoxville, and we watched CKY 2K together. Tremaine said, do you mind if I use some of these clips for a pilot that I want to do called Jackass?
Yeah, man, you already know,
MTV?
man, Vice.
And I said, hell yeah, go for it.
Ow. What the was that? I make the sizzle reel, and we go out and sell it, but I still don't even know what it is that we just saw. You know, I think one of the first things we filmed was like the BMX joust, where he just had this loose idea, and we went straight to the hardware store and just started rigging BMX bikes.
Sir Vermilon has committed treason. He has entered my land like he has entered my ass, and this is not permitted.
I was just hanging out back there eating a meat pie. Next thing you know, some guy's freaking out about nothing. Every day we would just brainstorm on what can we film, and it would be like, well, what's something somebody's never seen?
Ryan Dunn, about to do some skiing up here in the Pennsylvania mountains and try not to die.
Ryan Dunn would always be the one to step up to the plate.
I'm Ryan Dunn, and this is poo diving.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
You know,
that's
all right,
nasty.
here we are at this location. Who's gonna do this crazy thing? I'll do it.
In comedy, there's no room for vanity. You gotta show a little skin if you want to make it.
We would just drive around in the car like, what can we jump off of? Who can we with?
Dude, there's no girls here.
We were just turning out tons
Crazy.
of craziness. We actually filmed CKY 3 while we were filming Jackass. Some of the stuff was a little too gnarly to put on television, like no spreadable butt cheeks on MTV. And so I took 18X-Lax and did the George Carlin thing where I shit running full speed.
That's nasty, bro. That's gross.
We were in a void, you know, we weren't out in the real world. We would just film this stuff. I thought what we were getting was funny, but I didn't think
That's
everyone would think it
gross.
was funny, you know. Right away, it just took off.
In high school, it was like the flick of a light switch, like, oh, there's that loser skater kid, Bam, to all of a sudden, oh my God, I just saw Jackass. Do you want to come to this party tonight?
MTV was going crazy. We were getting calls and like, oh my God, the ratings are blah, blah, blah. You know, like.
That's when they did the spin-off to do Viva La Bam, which was me and the CKY guys back in Pennsylvania. The plot of Viva La Bam was wake up and see what kind of pranks I could pull on my mom and dad. It was just nonstop work.
Are you kidding me? We just destroyed the whole house!
We're just joking. I became so busy with filming with MTV. There was like tours that I was skipping with Element. There was like autograph signings I was missing. Driving an hour to Philly to go skate just slowly it slowly faded.
We were moving nonstop, like we were going. Just the pressure, like having to pull it off. You know,
It was 45 episodes nonstop.
It was.
Without like one day off. So finally, after like filming for like, what, 2 to 3 years straight nonstop, I'm like, I can't take it. I just need a break.
Right.
So I get a break.
Hang that up.
2 weeks a break, and I'm already ready to go back. When I already...
Bill, hang it up.
I'm trying to figure this phone out. Hold
Hang
on.
it up.
Where's the end button?
He's so annoying. I'm so sorry.
Is that it?
I'm gonna punch you. Oh, Lord.
What the hell am I doing?
Are you joking?
Yo, Bam here, gonna show you how new Right Guard Extreme Power Stripe works.
Bam grew up in the sense that you can be a star if you're a pro skater. If I get good at it, I can make money and I can have celebrity. And then when it came in droves. It came so far that it was like overwhelming and he couldn't go anywhere.
In May 2000, I went to Helsinki, Finland for a skate contest. There was this rock band called Him, and they were like blowing up big time. I wound up buying the album, and I liked it so much. When you opened the album, it had this emblem, which was like a heart and a star together. It was called the Heartogram.
He starts tattooing the heartogram, drawing it on everything. It became Bam's symbol, but it was this Finnish rock band, and it became this blurry line where he was the biggest fan, but he was bigger than the band.
I made this movie called Haggard. Every song was Him's new album called Deep Shadows and Brilliant Highlights.
I think he fully did the stalking thing, letters, emails, have people call. He just basically just forced him way to the backstage and became friends with him, you know, which is pretty rad.
His fascination with that band is beyond me. I mean, we all have different tastes, it's fine, but not my cup of tea.
There was that initial takeoff of MTV, CKY, people that don't know skateboarding, but they know who Bam is, and that just started spiraling into this beast.
A lot of like high school chicks would show up with their purple Bam Heartogram shirts.
It was just like Tony Hawk syndrome. People would be like, oh, you skate? Do you know Bam?
Bam was selling more boards than anybody, and yet it wasn't because of his skateboarding. It was because of his face on TV.
I think once the Heartogram went crazy, the skate population kind of were like, okay, this is way too big for us. We're gonna focus on somebody else.
You know, when you're on camera a lot, people have a lot to say. He always wanted to have this very slim look. And a lot of it kind of happened when he became good friends with Villa Valla.
I remember when me and Villa Valla were out in London, and he woke up at noon, opened up the mini bar, and cracked open a beer. That was the first time I was introduced to day drinking.
After the river, we get to the real river, which is the river of Brewskis back at the hotel.
It's 10 in the morning, River of Brewskis.
Villa drank a lot. Like, he drank a lot. I mean, he's the loveliest man ever, but he never ate. He just drank. And so I think he started like sipping on a beer or sipping on a something because he liked the way he looked.
I didn't start like officially drinking until maybe 24 or 25. And then the rock star life and drinking just spun out of control.
We would go out to dinner, and then he would immediately excuse himself and go to the bathroom. And I said, are you throwing up? And he says, yeah, like sometimes I throw up, and that way, like, I'm not gonna get like fat.
He saw me get fat, Vito got fat. My brother Kevin's not fat, my other brother's not fat, but it was a 50-50 thing. If you're Margera, you either get fat or you stay normal.
You know, it really hurts me when people make comments like, you know, you look like you gained some weight there. Hey, wow, Bam, you look like you're looking like your dad. I don't respond, but I feel like saying, he was drinking alcohol and he was bulimic, and that's why he was thin. Well, it looks like the show left town.
Right now, we're at Castle Bam. Who's that?
Who is that?
Oh, my God.
Who is that?
I don't know.
We're filming. You need to go.
I have told him 24 times to get his shit out of here and don't ever come on this property.
Bam traveled so much, a friend would call him and he'd say, yeah, you can go in, give that person the gate code, and then they would tell 5 friends.
You didn't have to be invited. People would come over with like 6-packs and kegs, and every time I was doing something productive, it would always just turn into a drinking party. During the height of it, I bought a house, and then from there on, whatever any other dollars I was gonna make, I was just gonna put towards new sports cars. At one point, so much money was flowing in that I didn't know what the f to do with any of it.
There's some saying like the age you become famous is like the age you stay at forever, and no one's gonna call you out, you know? Like, there's no one telling you no.
Most kids that age, you know, it's usually you giving them the checks, but he had money coming in.
Yeah, my brother and I, Vince, was his accountant mainly. And my brother had the nerve to scream at him, and I never had the nerve to scream at Bam.
We listen to him because it's his money, number one, and number two, he seems to know what people want to see. So I'm just gonna shut up.
Bam's house at that time, during those really dark years, was very depressing, because you see this really big, beautiful spread on the countryside, and then you get into the house and you can just see like a lot of pain.
Fuck is it?
Like people trying to navigate their way through a really dark time. And there's power in numbers, so the more people that were like that, the more that we all added drugs and alcohol to the recipe. And the only time there was like a point of like, oh shit, is when we ran out of cocaine. You know what I mean? So we just call more, and then they would bring their buddies, and their buddies would bring their buddies, and then before you know it, it's just like, dude, who are these people?
There's not really anything to show. It's an amusement park that closed down, and now I'm stuck here looking at it. You know, I remember I just said, like, I can't do this anymore. Like, if I had a wish, it would just be for, like, everyone to just go off. And then, when that happened, I find myself, like, 3 weeks into this, and I have an empty house. I'm like, all right, I want everybody back, and I want to continue this shit. My real friends left, and now my new friends are just drinking buddies from town.
It's sad in a sense because I always used to think we were unique, and then we just became this total cliche story of small town kids, got recognition from television, started doing this whole little Hollywood thing, and then all of a sudden we're just all on drugs and drinking and partying and doing all that stuff, and it's just this sad little story. And then I'll be honest, man, when Ryan died, that was just incredibly difficult, and still is.
Police are investigating the cause of a fiery car crash that killed 2 people, including Ryan Dunn, one of the stars of the once popular MTV show Jackass.
Police say Ryan was behind the wheel of his Porsche, and according to published reports, may have been driving over 100 miles per hour. His car lost control, smashed the guardrail, and burst into flames.
Do you have any Grey Poupon? Sorry, bro. You don't have any?
I always said to Ryan, dude, you're gonna die in a car crash. If you don't slow down, you drive like a freaking maniac. He said, you forgot one thing, Ape. Fiery car crash.
Well, I was in Phoenix, Arizona when I got the news. It was literally the longest flight ever, like just knowing that I had to get home as soon as possible. I never pictured what I would do if that happened. It just wasn't an option.
You know, anytime that Bam might be going through anything, he always had Ryan Dunn right there, and he was his best friend, a brother figure. It definitely triggered the alcohol more once Ryan passed away.
Whenever we'd film anything, it would always be me and Dunn brainstorming about how to be funny. And now I don't have that anymore. What am I gonna do? Crack open a drink.
I think going forward, Bam didn't want to do any projects because every time he thought he'd get back to work, he's like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna, you know what I'll do? I'll go ahead and shoot this funny show, and then I'll call Dunn, and, oh, guess I won't call Dunn.
It hit him as hard as a brother dying, in my opinion. that really shook him up. It set him back a couple years, I think.
Look, when Ryan passed, it was shocking to all of us, you know, like, Bam was already in a bad spot, and for that to happen when it did, it just sunk him.
Should we show him the dungeon?
Yeah, keep in mind the dungeon holds a whole lot of stuff from the old house in piles.
Oh, and here's the thousands of skate decks.
Oh my God, and there's more in the garage.
Yeah. This is where I would edit for weeks and weeks.
We were getting worried about you because you never came out.
What were you working on?
The movie about Andy McCoy from Hanoi Rocks, and also my movie, but I've been working on it for like 4 years that I've had enough.
My best friend Ryan Dunn died in a car accident 2 years ago. He's dead and gone.
And it was like driving me bonkers. It really was. Just because there was so much footage. It was 11 terabytes of footage that I had to go through. If you hit play on 11 terabytes and just let it play that I had to watch, it's like 4 months worth of footage.
I know.
It's like more than Avatar.
He's been through quite a cathartic time that's not just the skateboarder, the Jackass guy. It's his own personal loss of a dear friend. I think he was so obsessed with that movie and editing it that he would like be in the basement for literally weeks at a time in dark hole, sipping on alcohol, trying to like edit this thing. And I'm like, it's time to just walk away.
Who the can put 4 months of footage into 2 hours?
There's
it's impossible.
too much of stuff that you don't even need to put in there. Like, there's stuff you need to take out that you think's important that isn't important. And there's
Well, none
stuff
of it's
that's
important
important
right
that you need
now.
to leave in.
He was like, couldn't figure out how to end the documentary. He's like, I don't know how to end the documentary. And I was trying to tell him to stop editing the documentary and put it away, because I think the reason you're having trouble is you don't know what to do with your life right now, and that's natural. You're going since you were 14 years old making this shit, and like, you know, figure out what to do with your life, and that'll tell you what to do with this documentary.
So that one's on pause for a bit?
Yeah.
He's actually living his ending. That's what you're doing. You're living your ending.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Bam has accepted the fact that alcohol is a issue. He's trying to fix an internal dilemma with an external solution. And thank God that he's doing that, and he's buying new homes, and he's buying new cars, and he's going to Spain. Because what happens is once you do all those things, you realize, like, they don't work.
What's up, Dooley?
What's up, sweetheart? Bro, why weren't you at the Rager last night?
What Rager? Maybe because you didn't call me up and invite me.
Watch your mouth, sweetheart.
Novak and I grew up skating together, and he was sponsored by Pal Peralta, and he would always skate with Bucky and show up skating cheap skates. Then he got into heroin at the age of 15.
Me being a recovering alcoholic, like, I have a really delusional way of thinking. And in my mind, what my
Heroin
disease
at
told me is
15,
that
nigga?
the skateboarding world needs me. It cannot go on without me. I am an asset. And in reality, it did not need me. It went on quite fine without me, and I was a liability.
Do it. Get.
Oh,
Oh, you're cut up. Yeah. Yo, see what happens when you're broke? You'll do anything for $100. God damn, my life sucks.
When I was around and I was going on tour with him and I was everywhere that he went, it was very easy for Bam to deflect his issues because they would all point a finger and say, I'm not as bad as Novak.
Okay, so you said it's the 19th through the...
Fox.
Now he's 2.5 years sober, and he's doing speeches about heroin addiction. He cleaned up his act, which I never thought was possible.
Right on. Well, thank you for getting out to me, man. I appreciate that.
He is doing so well that I think that Bam is extremely happy for his friend, extremely proud of his friend, and extremely jealous of his friend.
Did he talk to you about your drinking in order to help try to get you sober?
I mean, it was always... No, I don't know. The only reason why I was drinking so much is because I didn't have anything to do. Right now, learning how to skate again is something to do, and I can't do that while drinking.
Tell the camera the plan. The plan is this. His name is Wallman. The leader of the squad is Wallman. Wallman is the leader of the squad.
I don't give a about shopping carts, but Bam the skateboarder was the dude that most of us fell in love with. He skated street, but the dude ripped transition.
His FDR days, they definitely intimidated me. He'd go up that Indian wall like 10 foot of vert.
Skateboarding is about goofing around and having fun with your friends, and Bam carried that message to the broadest audience.
Love to see him back on a skateboard and trying to kind of find that answer as to what's next.
If he's got something to accomplish, then that's going to consume him, and he's all in on that.
He's got this complete different glow about him. He just wants to get back to his roots again.
Not saying the rest of them ain't good, all of them is good, but him, I think he's the best out the bunch.
The most difficult thing in success is to have it taken away. I think that he's come through the fire, and I think he's still getting better.
There's ups and downs. You know, you ride the ride, enjoy the ride. It's a 15-minute ride. I want my son to come out the other end, the person that he went in.
I think he realizes the severity of the situation that he's in right now. And he has a really good shot, he does. And he might be one of those people that can do it without doing the things that I do to stay sober. He might be. Anything is subject to change because I've seen it in my life.
Check us out.
Damn. Hopefully you make it out of it, bro. I remember this nigga's show, bro. I remember Buddy's show.